Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Mixed Curling Championship. My name is Al Cameron, joined again tonight by Jeff Chambers for this Draw 2 matchup on Sheet B. I guess we should say Sheet B for Broncos. As the Swift Current Broncos are playing right next door to us here at the Innovation Plex. It is Northern Ontario's team Trevor Bonot from Thunder Bay, the 2022 runners-up last year in Prince Albert, taking on Team Tyler Smith from the Crapaud Curling Club in Prince Edward Island. Jeff, you saw this afternoon, there was a lot of rocks in play just about across the sheet. I would expect the same from both of these teams tonight, considering this is great ice conditions and rocks that curl. Nice combination.
Yeah, absolutely. All these teams managed to watch the games this afternoon, and they were studying their sheets of ice and understanding how it's running, and they'll be aggressive right from the get-go, as we're seeing right here. We got the center guard and then right into the rings.
So run down these 2 lineups for you. Team Prince Edward Island from the Crapaud Curling Club. Darcy Birch is the lead. Ed White is the second. Melissa Morrow at by Skip. And Tyler Smith, just 24 years old, but he's got something like 14 or 15 provincial jackets from past events he's been at, including the juniors, 2 Briars, as well as the Canadian Mixed and Canada Winter Games. So Tyler has represented his province proudly many times over the years, and here he is again skipping at the Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. They are taking on Team Prince Edward Island, or Team Northern Ontario, hailing from the Fort William Curling Club in Thunder Bay. It is lead Amanda Gates, second Mike McCarville, vice skip Jackie McCormick, and skip Jackie's brother Trevor Bonot. As noted, they were the 2022 silver medalist, 2017 Canadian Championship team, this Northern Ontario squad. So a lot of experience at the mixed level and lots of big game experience here too. So expect good things out of both of these teams.
Yeah, Team PI is going to have to be sharp. This Northern Ontario team has shown how they love the play and how good they are in the mixed round. So it should be a good battle, and we'll see how it plays out.
And as you might expect, just based on the experience factor alone, you would expect Team Northern Ontario to be applying pressure, and they do have last rock advantage in this first end and 2 rocks behind that center guard. So Ed White, and you'll notice he's wearing Alex McFadden's jersey. There was a last-minute replacement on this team, not last minute, but in the last month leading up to the event. Alex McFadden was going to play, and they couldn't get jackets done up in time for Ed White. So despite what you see on his back of his jacket, it is in fact Ed White, and Ed and Tyler were members of Team PEI at the Briar earlier this year in March in London, Ontario. So they have some top-level experience, and we expect to bring that into play this evening here in Swift Current.
Well, now that I just learned that, I'm feeling pretty bad. I did the MC and the introductions for all the teams, and no one told me that there was a change-up from Alex to Ed. So poor Ed didn't get announced today.
It's all good. Ed's getting his love right now. So
right on.
So it looks like Northern Ontario will be trying to keep that deuce alive, but they're really working hard to drag Mike McCarville's rock into the rings. And let's see if the skipper can get it done. Yes, a few licks from the skip and proving that skips can indeed sweep.
Yeah, he was saving up all his energy for that one. Yeah, so PEI is chasing early here, and they're going to have a miss sooner or later here. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough way to get to your first end, and definitely looking like a force right now. But as we know, things can change.
As we saw this afternoon, a number of times actually in that opening round game between Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia, and found out a little tidbit that you might appreciate, Jeff. That was Paul Fleming's first game of the year. He's practiced, but that was his first game of the year. It just kind of puts me to shame that he's going out there and making shots like he did this afternoon.
He looked so comfortable out there today.
And that will not go onto the rings. A little bit of a miss there from Mike McCarville. Now a chance for PEI to potentially set up a steal here. Get our first look at Melissa Morrow. She's a former Canadian champion, by the way. She won the 2015 Canadian Club Champions. In 2015, she was the second for PEI's Lisa Jackson. But here's where it gets interesting. The team they beat in the semifinal, Northern Ontario, had their own Jackson skipping, Kathy Jackson. But playing second for that Northern Ontario team was none other than Jackie McCormick from this Northern Ontario team that they're playing tonight. So these two players do have a history. Even though if you ask them, they might not know. So many games, so many players over the years. But yes, they were playing in a big game at the club championships in 2015, head-to-head. So that shot does wreck on the guard. So the deuce is back alive here, potentially, for Northern Ontario.
Yeah, they're going to try to swing this around the long, and you can see how much ice they're taking right to get to the into the 12-foot. So ice is moving really nice for the players. They got to watch the sheet ahead of time, so they have an idea. And especially for curling club ice, they are getting a really nice movement with the rocks.
And this is a team, in fact, both of these teams do most of their curling on club ice. They're not playing on the slams and big events like that unless they get to a Brier. So they'll be very familiar with how to handle these conditions. And as club ice goes, and we can't stress this enough, it is spectacular club ice. Great rocks, great ice conditions, and I'm sure both these teams will be very much up to the challenge of generating some offense out here tonight.
Absolutely.
Jason Bratton is the chief ice tech here at the Swift Current Curling Club, and he and his crew did a great job getting this place set up for opening day.
Yeah, Jason's been part of some really big events and from all over. So to have him locally here and looking after our club, we're just so blessed to have someone with his skill level right here in Swift Current.
Tried to play the hit and roll, but it on the nose. The higher that rock gets up, though, the tougher it's going to be for the double. So nose hit is probably the call here for Jackie McCormick.
Yeah, that was a pretty good opportunity to get a roll over there behind cover, because if you hit it thin, you get the double. If you hit it a little thicker, you get the roll. So just kind of came up on them pretty hard. Looks like a really nice nose hit. So that'll leave a really steep angle. So no double is there, but they'll try to get the hit and roll and try to get a contender in there in front of the way. Might be thinking of taking a. Oh, I thought he might be thinking about taking a slash run at this, but no, he's going to go for back to the hit and roll.
Mentioned that Team Bonot did win the 2017 Canadian Mix. They went on to the World. Produces so many great curlers over the years. Obviously, Heather Houston's team won back-to-back Scotties titles and a World Championship in women's play in the late 80s. Of course, Al Hackner won a pile of Briars and World Championships. And most recently, of course, Krista McCarville. That would be Mike McCarville's wife. Team Krista McCarville, always a contender at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. And I had the pleasure of being in Thunder Bay last month to announce that the 2025 Scotties will be back in Thunder Bay. So a lot of excitement in Thunder Bay over that announcement.
Yes, they will be excited
there
about
by Trevor.
Absolutely splitting the rings and just matching the distance, just so perfect. So no other choice really, other than especially in the first end, just gotta hit this one and hope for a miss on the last, and bounce back and go into the second end.
I think this is in a situation, like you said, where I don't think there's too much that Tyler Smith can make happen here, but I think just get some confidence, make a couple shots, and see what you can build up.
Absolutely. He threw this one really nice, and it's a good shot that Trevor's going to have to deal with. Or
no, just going a little too far. Yeah. We spoke too soon.
Yeah,
lively rings here, I've noticed, though, Jeff.
Yeah,
you know
they
all
are.
about them. These are lively rings, I suppose.
Well, this ice is, like I said, it's just so clean right now, and it's just so lively, and so there's a lot of, it's just so clean, and the rocks are coming off, and you're right, the rolls are a little bit bigger than a lot of them are expecting. They're thinking there's just going to be a hit and roll, but they're going to have to really pay attention. They let that one slip away. That they had that shot early on if they got on that, so just a little bit of a line call adjustment needed there, and now he has an open draw for two, and just the way that Trevor wanted to happen. Making the sweepers work a little bit on this one.
Tyler's already kicking off the rocks he knows, so they'll put that deuce on the scoreboard, and it's a great start for Team Bonot from Northern Ontario. They take a 2-0 lead. It will be PEI with Hammer when we return for the second end after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club, part of the Innovation Plex on the east side of Swift Current, also home to the Swift Current Broncos. We mentioned that the Broncos are actually playing this evening, a 3-0 lead over Everett right next door. Pardon me, 3-1 now. So suffice it to say, it's a full parking lot here in Swift Current tonight.
Yeah, not an easy spot to find a spot out there in that parking lot tonight. It's activity on both sides of the rink, so pretty exciting.
That the iPlex, of course, was also home to the 2016, pardon me, and 2010 World Women's Curling Championships. So lots of history of big-time curling events here in Swift Current. And we mentioned earlier today, too, this is the host of the 1993 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship that Nova Scotia won with Colleen Jones and Scott Saunders taking away the gold. So we're underway here in the second end, and once again, it is Northern Ontario applying some early pressure, a couple rocks in the forefoot, but in a pretty decent spot from a PEI perspective.
Yeah, PEI is not too worried about that. They get a chance to get their rock in front of theirs, and just like that, there's two red rocks behind that tee line, so it's they're not in a bad situation at all, and there'll be some moving around here of stones.
It's one of those rare weeks where Mike McCarville is the one wearing the Northern Ontario jacket, and wife Krista is at home watching and taking care of the family. Mike, by the way, and Trevor are teammates in men's competition in Northern Ontario.
It really helps a lot of these teams when they can find that connection with one another, so that it's, you know, a lot of the mixed teams are strategically getting put together now, and a lot of them come with at least one other person from their team, so it's pretty easy to learn how they throw and fit into the team dynamic.
PEI deciding it's time to use that corner guard, but that rock's got to slow down. Just a little bit warm. And as you might expect, Trevor Bonot will not let that corner guard stick around.
Northern Ontario's in a great spot right now. They've got their rocks moved around and spaced out. So look
and
at
the cheeky
nice
spin back in there. That tells you something about
control
these.
action there.
Not a ton of great options available to PEI here, Jeff.
No, it's a little glim. They'll try to get a hit and a little bit of a roll. Try to group them a little bit here. It's going to take a couple of shots before they can group them well enough to be able to take out the double of what they need. Good solid shot there.
Jackie's got 3 degrees. She's got a Bachelor of Science, a Master's of Clinical Science, and a Doctorate of Audiology. So if you're having troubles with your hearing, I believe Jackie is the person to talk to. She is an audiologist. She owns a private practice devoted to audiology, which is essentially hearing. It's called the Frequency Hearing Center in Fort Frances, Ontario. I hear that she's very good at her job. You see what I did there?
Yeah, just maybe a little. I know one thing on her team, there's no excuses on her team for not being able to listen to instructions or the call. So.
Exactly. Nice shot there by Jackie. Now the chance is there for the hit and roll, though.
Looked like on that release she set that in a little bit, and yes, she did. That's just on her release there. You could see she came off the rock there a little bit and started that tight and led to a miss.
So it is Northern Ontario sitting 3 and rock in hand. So chance to generate a little more offense. Jeff, what's the thought process there? Trevor initially seemed to be calling open side.
Yeah, most players would call for the open side right off the bat as an opening, but that still leaves, just because of the way those rocks are pocketed there, that leaves a pretty easy free shot, and it would be very tough to get rid of. So if he beats him to the punch there by putting it up a little bit, that takes away the freeze opportunity and kind of frees up a shot for them. So I love this call.
Just like that.
Just like that.
And by the way, Jeff, there is no argument, right? We do know who has the best uniforms at the Canadian Mixed Championship.
Do we?
Oh, those Northern Ontario, that's some good gear.
It is pretty solid. I was looking at that, and they definitely have a fashion designer that helped them with that one.
I will say second place goes firmly to the Yukon. We'll get a look at them later in the week with their Northern Lights motif. Very nice uniforms, but that Raging Moose, hard to beat that.
Yes, that's pretty impressive for sure. And yeah, I did see some of the uniforms, and Yukon was pretty solid. Quebec came out looking really good as well. They had team toques on and their flags going, and they're just having a blast out there. They're feeling very comfortable here.
And good on you, but I do know that where your heart is, and those Saskatchewan uniforms will always be aces with you, right?
Well, it's Team Green. I grew up actually in Manitoba.
Did you?
Manitoba curler, yeah. So all my curling was in Manitoba before the college days, and then I moved out. But as I tell everybody now, I bleed green. So it's I'm everything about Saskatchewan, and no offense to Manitoba, but yeah, no, Saskatchewan is where it's at.
So Bombers, Riders, do I need to ask?
No, without question.
Okay.
No, Riders all the way. Wet Bombers.
There you go. All right, so here's a chance to sit for 3 after a pretty nice shot on his first by Tyler Smith, but good response by Trevor.
Well, he has an opportunity here. If he can just half tuck this, it would be a tremendous shot because it wouldn't be able to be taken out because of the jam. So this is a big opportunity for him to still keep the deuce alive, and but he's going to have a really nice roll. Just wants to roll 1.5 feet over.
Probably doesn't want to throw a ton of weight at this.
No, it'll be more of a control kind of weight. Hopefully use the sweepers a little bit on this one, and then control that roll for sure, because it is a lively house, as you've seen.
Tyler Smith, his first stone of this second end. Ed's trying to get a little bit of movement on it, see if he can get it to curl a bit. He'd like to hold this shooter. They're going across the face. So that'll open the door for the open hit here for Trevor to sit 3 and get that force.
Northern Ontario is putting a lot of pressure on. They're constantly being the aggressors, and PEI has had to chase both ends here. So we'll want to change that around here real shortly.
called and made, and it will be not much of an option for Tyler other than the open hit and stick for one. Had a similar shot last end, Jeff, and got it going a little bit, so he's going to want to be very careful with that release. Not make the same mistake twice.
That's right. And the biggest thing is that curlers, and most of them at this level, realize you don't make that overcorrection too. It's just a minor correction, but it's so easy to overdo it, and then you really get yourself thinking. So hopefully you can get a nice release here. Bonk it right on the nose, then move into the next end and see if they can generate some pressure.
There it is. So will be a single point on the board. PEI gets their first point, but it will be Northern Ontario that takes a 2-1 lead into the third end when we come back after this.
I've been raised on the farm since day one, so I was born into it. My grandfather came in here in 1905. I want to continue the farm for him and generations to come. So
I think it's a privilege that we get to be here. It's just a wonderful way of life.
You know, what job is there that you can go to work with your dad and brother, with your kids by your side? Doesn't get much better than that.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club. It is third end action of tonight's feature game between Northern Ontario's team Trevor Bonot from Thunder Bay and Team Prince Edward Island's Tyler Smith from the Crapaud Curling Club. Got 4 sheets in play here tonight at the Swift Current Curling Club as we are into the evening draw on opening day at the Canadian Mixed. Quick look at some of the other games. Over on sheet D, it is Team New Brunswick's Charles Sullivan taking a 2-1 lead over Nunavut. Nunavut pushed, it's Peter Van Streen's team from Iqaluit. Team Nunavut really pushed the Northwest Territories, Jamie Cooey, hard in their opening game before falling short at the end. And 2 other games still wrapping up their second end, but it was Manitoba taking a 4-0 lead in the first end over Newfoundland Labrador. Keith Ryan, and it's Kyle Kurz looking at getting out of trouble here. He's looking at 3 Newfoundland counters for his last shot here, but it is Manitoba in a 4-0 lead. And in the other game, it was Team Yukon from Whitehorse, Terry Miller, jumping into a 1-0 lead after the first end on Ontario's team Scott McDonald. All the scores all the time, you can find them on curling.ca/scoreboard, curling.ca/scoreboard, and also a reminder that during this year's broadcast here on Curling Canada Plus, in conjunction with our friends at Curling Stadium, you can find all 4 games streaming. You'll be able to watch all 4 games during this championship. You can even watch them all at once But you can also choose which game you want. Of course, only one game will feature our commentary. But if your team is not in the commentary game, well, you'll be able to switch over to another sheet. All 4 games here on Curling Canada Plus throughout the rest of the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. And we are underway, and as again, it is Northern Ontario with a couple rocks already counting here early in this third end.
Yeah, PEI got their single, and they wanted to apply some pressure, and they threw up some really nice stones, but Northern Ontario has matched them for every shot so far. So looks like we're going to get a lot of rocks into play, and before they start moving some granite around, so it should be a pretty exciting end to watch. There's no better sound when you hear the skip saying, yep, nope, yep, nope, yep, nope. You know
Just
you're
clean.
darn close. It's very motivating because you
as
know.
well as just clean. Well,
Yeah.
of course, as opposed to the 4 worst words in curling, right?
Yeah.
Hard for a piece.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's going to roll out. And it will be Northern Ontario with a chance to sit 3 behind some staggered guards, too. So with hammer. So that's not a great combination right now for PEI. They're going to have to make some granite move.
Yes, this is a good opportunity to put some good pressure on if they can get this tucked around. Even half tucked around is all they really need.
And then Jackie working on this. I don't know if they're going to get by, are they? Of course they're going to get by. Oof. That one's in jail.
We're probably going to see Tyler want to make a move on that top red one to at least take one of the red rocks out of play. Oh, no, he's just going to draw in. He is he is all in with this move. When you're sitting in the hack and looking at what you have to do right now, you're going, huh, okay. No problem.
Looks a lot easier from your end than it does from this end.
Oh, yeah. Trying to draw freeze up to an overburied rock. That's at the top of the 12. That's just showing that the ice is really, really working really nicely and they can make those big shots. But she definitely sent this one out wide on the release, so that'll be pretty hard to bring this one back in.
It's trying.
They're getting there, though. They are trying. They are moving this thing. That had so much curl to it.
Just a little, comes up a little light, but potentially usable, assuming Trevor lets it stay there, but. Jackie McCormick probably try and make a pass on that and not allow it to be used by Prince Edward Island later in the end. Amanda's working hard.
Oh boy, this was a swing and a miss, this one. Changed it up quite a bit.
Yes, it did.
Must have been something on that release that was, they didn't have a lot of ice on that shot, so it must have been more just something in the release that just didn't feel right. And just coasted out there. So give a little spark to Tyler here and see if he can start generating something here.
So go to the other side, Melissa Morrow. They're talking like this is a little warm.
And little misjudge there from the front end because they called out that it was back 4, and that came up real short. So bit of a misjudge on that one, but still, it's a good rock that's in play. It's at the top of the house. It's protecting their one that's on the 4-foot. So in essence, it worked out pretty darn good.
So wondering if they'd play this. It looks pretty lined up, does it not?
Yeah, it looks like a
Red,
tailor-made
yellow, red.
shot here. So it's Trevor saw it right away, and he likes the way that's lined up. So he's not going to mess around, and he's going to play it right now.
And the Gates will try and get it in there. Essentially, really just have to make contact. Just like that.
They work out really good too because their yellow didn't line up. The danger of that shot was that the red-yellow combo at the top of the 8 would be lined up to go in, but it actually spun out to the outside. So really fortunate and worked out really well for them.
Not too many other options, I think, Jeff, other than this yellow raise, is there?
No, there's just how you would play it. There's the option to just play it kind of with a board weight where you can just kind of maneuver it back into the 4-foot and tap the red ones back. But looks like he's going to come with his normal rate and try to do a straight back run. I like the looks of it. He's got it. Oh boy. Almost got the double. A little over curled on him. Jumped up on him a bit. We're going to have a little bit of a tap. He's going to try to get this as close to a straight back as he can to get into the 4-foot. And if he hits this perfectly straight back, it'll force Tyler into the wide counterclockwise turn to try to hide one around that yellow one. So see if he can get this straight back, which would be ideal for him.
Would Trevor ever consider going that wide counterclockwise himself?
Well, I thought about that first, and then I'm thinking it's for the same reason. If he comes around there and if he makes it perfect, he's given Tyler the same run back yellow, and then he'd have 2 reds to run into rather than just one right now. So you create almost a wall by accident there.
Maybe a little wide as Amanda's trying to get it to carve in just a little bit, but
I think we're going to get another flyby here. So a couple misses on the line, just on the releases for them, and they'll have to tidy that up. But hasn't changed much here. Opens it
now
up
another opportunity at that run back for Tyler.
Yes, if he just saw this line, he knows what it does, And if he can weld this on there, all of a sudden they'll be sitting 3 and 2 buried. So big opportunity here. And like I said, he just threw this, so they know what it's going to do. It's not an easy looking shot, but Tyler will have confidence with this.
Just felt something under there, giving another clean. This game is proceeding pretty quickly, so they've got some time on their hands to make sure everything's cleaned up there. On its way now.
They're very close to this.
Pretty nice.
So just like that, Trevor's facing 3 rocks. So he'll be a little disappointed that it got to this, but now you just have to take that deep breath, get set in the hack, and throw to the button.
Jeff, you've played the game long enough to know what a big boost that is for Prince Edward Island, especially after giving up the deuce. This is big for their confidence to get the force back like this.
Without question. You need one of those breaks in the game, and that literally right here in the third end could be that break that just turns things around and puts a little bit more smile on the face. So anytime you can force a team to look at 3 of your rocks, it's just fantastic. So that was a big shot and a big end for them, and got the force on. So.
But that's what skips are paid to do, make shots like that when looking at 3. So will be Northern Ontario getting a single here in the third end. You just saw Skip Terry Smith take a tumble. Terry Miller from the Yukon take a tumble, but he's up and well. And we will take a break, and we'll be right back to this.
We're for agriculture, for growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
And we are back at the Swift Current Curling Club as we head into this 4th end of tonight's Draw 2 game between Prince Edward Island, Tyler Smith with the hammer, trailing Northern Ontario's team Trevor Bonot 3-1. And a good end last end, Jeff, by PEI to kind of almost stop the bleeding, so to speak, and keep Northern Ontario and force them into a tough shot. And that's got to be, as we said, it's going to be a confidence boost. And they've already got the corner guard up here. So let's see what PEI can generate.
Absolutely. Nice draw to the button here. Let's see if it stops in time. No, that's just behind. So not ideal, but not bad for sure. And just have to see how long it takes. Well, no, he's going to go right after it. So you'll see a lot of skips decide just to use that corner guard, which there we go. Just like that was queued up for me, I think. Anyways, to go behind that corner guard, which I love that call. So,
So describe that though, Jeff. A casual curling fan would say you're nuts for not hitting that rock off the button. Why? It just seems like intuitive to do that, and yet, as you say, just about every competitive team in Canada would play the shot that Tyler Smith's playing right now.
Yeah, it's like a chess match. It's chess. You can't just win on your first move. You just have to set things up for success. And curling's like that, where it's just positioning your rocks. And this is a different situation where now they've thrown behind there, and so it changes things. And now Trevor's looking at going after them rather than the other way around. Because if Tyler would go after the open rock and put it there, then it takes all the action to the open. And then they're typically just chasing. So I like the move. They did need, it would have been nice for them to get a little extra curl. They're showing half a rock. So if they would have got that completely buried, though, it would have totally changed up the end on how they look at things. So
they'll roll that out. But the other part of that puzzle, too, is people say, well, Northern Ontario is right on the button, and they say, well, you're in great shape. And as you pointed out, it's not really ideal. A foot or two higher would have been a lot better for Northern Ontario, but that's why Tyler Smith and his team are willing to just kind of let that one sit there for now.
Yeah. And a big difference, too, is these teams are trying to always generate multiple ends. And if you're playing shot for shot, very rarely can you get out with making a deuce. You have to take some gambles along the way. And leaving two red rocks in that position is a gamble. But if, through my coaching, especially with our kids' teams, it's I tell them you don't have to freak out about the shot rock. But if you can always control being second, you're always going to give yourself a chance at a great end. And if you can keep working on that. That was just an unfortunate miss there that takes them out of the aggressor position, but sooner or later they're going to bury one around there, and then we'll see things change up.
So Mike McCarville will take a pass at that guard and see if he can make it go away. They'd love to spill that onto the rings, I think.
I think that shocked them. Trevor did not expect that rock to come off so hot. You could see his reaction. It's like, holy cow. It's they're pretty lively. They're it's definitely not a dead set of stones. They're lively off the face, and like I said, with the ice being just so clean and it's nice and keen right now, it's they're getting a lot of roll out of them.
Well, and the other aspect of that that's kind of unique and interesting about mixed curling is that every shot is available to the women's players as well. I mean, the facts are the facts. They're not going to throw it like that 5-second peel like guys can throw, but they can still make every shot and get the hits and rolls and the doubles and the triples just based on the rocks and the ice.
I'm quite shocked that they didn't go with the up weight when they had the opportunity there. There was definitely a triple opportunity there, and at worst a double. So I'm quite shocked that they used the weight that they did there to play that shot. That was a very good opportunity to clear some stones out.
But it still is Northern Ontario, and now they've that jam actually left them a little higher up above the button, and that's a better position. And it's worth guarding now for Jackie McCormick. As we mentioned, the sister of Trevor. Longtime teammates. And both list each other as really their inspiration when it comes to the sport of curling, which is really nice to see.
So this will add for our list for the listeners that might have been in the last game too, but it's we got to figure out what combination works best. Is it siblings? Is it spouses? Is it mother, son? A lot of different dynamics here.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Jeff, I did ask Colleen Jones that question after the game, just in terms of the dynamics, because she has curled with her husband as well. So they're different, she says, but
yeah,
didn't really get into details. Here's the chance for the run back here for Melissa Morrow. White's trying to keep it on line, but it just over curls a hair. So I'm sure you'll see Trevor trying to replace that guard. Protect the steal. All these teams participated in the opening ceremony between draws, which you, of course, emceed. Did a wonderful job on that. It was nice to have the Swift Current Special Olympics team throwing out the opening rock. Did a great job of that, and big applause from all the teams.
Yeah, they were very, very nervous. They were excited and nervous, obviously. And you're standing out there in front of, well, some of them, like they love watching the curling, and they're out there watching all these great players from across the country, watching them and cheering them on. The nerves were going through the roof, and it was exciting for them, and they enjoyed the experience so much. And then they got a picture with their favorite team, which is Team Saskatchewan, and it was pretty special.
So Melissa Morrow now will try and take on that shot stone. You might have seen Tyler indicate that if there's a way to miss, it's to be tight and see if you can spill off that top stone and into the rings. Wide is not the option here, but it looks like they'll be in good shape here. Very nice. There's another phrase that people may need some explanation on, knowing the right way to miss. Jeff, talk about that.
Well, it's like that in a few different sports for sure. My background is also coaching and golf as a professional, and we always talk about the pro miss. And you don't want to talk about misses, but you got to be aware of what's out there and where you can miss. And you just got to focus in on that. And unfortunately, too many teams maybe focus a little bit too much on the miss and play it a little safe. But it's just the way that you always have a plan A and plan B, and one of them, if you're tight, as an example, or the way you can't miss, well, there is no plan A or plan B. So it goes out the window. So that's why they're always making sure that they're aware of where they want to see that rock end up, and if it's not perfect, where it could end up.
Good sweep there by Mike to hold that shooter in play. So it still is Northern Ontario sitting 2. Tyler Smith with his first stone of this fourth end. Love to see if he can get one buried. Get a roll off this.
He actually would have had the possibility, if he really wanted to be aggressive, he could have gone to that top one, which is lined up pretty good for a straight back, and it could have even got over for the double and having both yellow rocks in the rings counting. So, but he's taking the more safer shot.
Trying to hold this in the rings. Pretty good. But it will be open.
I don't think we're going to see too much fanciness here. As you can see, he doesn't need to get the roll. He can just put it right into the open there, and then and to get the force here. And he'd be very happy giving up a force of 1 and getting the hammer back with the lead. Just the most important thing is it's got to stick around.
Trevor's final shot of this fourth end. Mike's working this, but now they call him off, so
can see what he also took more ice on that and brought his weight quite down. You'll see a lot of people, and especially in the club curling, where they'll just get out there and just, oh, this is just a hit, and they'll wing it down there trying to stick on it. But they brought their weight down to a bumper level, and the less weight you throw, the more efficient your sweepers can be for you, for holding it straight and for creating a curl. So that was a very wise veteran move there, to take more ice and throw it a little slower and give it to your sweepers, and did a great job there.
And you can see it's dead buried, so the only option for Tyler Smith will be the draw. He'll be able to draw to backing, but this will be for a single point, so good force here by Northern Ontario, but Tyler still does have to make the shot. And this is not a gimme.
This is where you want that great communication. They're just saying weight only, making sure they know how much is curling, so they know if the weight will come off. So great communication amongst the team there, and great shot.
Well managed, and it is a single for Prince Edward Island. So we will go to the fourth end break. It is Northern Ontario with a 3-2 lead. The teams will take their fourth end break. We will too. We'll be back after a few moments here at the Swift Current Curling Club for the 2023 Canadian Mixed Championship.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good, and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club. It is Draw 2 action of the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. My name is Al Cameron, joined tonight by Jeff Chambers on our Curling Canada Plus broadcast in conjunction with our friends at Curling Stadium. And through 4 ends, it is Team Northern Ontario, skipped by Trevor Bonot, leading 3-2 on Team Prince Edward Island. And it will be Northern Ontario with Hammer here in the 5th end. And Jeff, your thoughts on those first 4 ends? We'll get to Jeff when he joins us back as we start this 5th end. It will be Team PEI starting us off. We'll do a quick rundown of the other scores on the ice tonight. As 4 sheets in action, it is Team New Brunswick, Team Charles Sullivan, 2 in the 2nd end, a steal of 2 in the 3rd. And they now have a 4-2 lead on Team Nunavut. That's Team New Brunswick playing out of the Thistle St. Andrews in St. John, New Brunswick. Up 4-2. Other games, it is Manitoba, Team Kyle Kurz out of the Fort Rouge in Winnipeg. They have a 6-3 lead playing in the 4th end against Newfoundland Labrador's Team Keith Ryan from Labrador City. And in the other game, it is Ontario, Team Scott McDonald. They are out of St. Thomas, and they are up 3-1 playing in the 4th end against the Yukon Team Terry Miller from Whitehorse.
So teams are off a little break there action, and the ice got re-cleaned, and now they're right back into action. And now we just got this one coming up a little light on this one.
So Jeff, we will put you in that position as we always like to do. Jeff, if you were the coaches of these teams at that 4th end break, what might you have told them? Let's start with Northern Ontario with that 3-2 lead after 4 ends.
Well, it would definitely be a very upbeat talk with them all. It would be very simple. It's just keep doing what you're doing. They, believe it or not, in this game, they've only had 1 missed opportunity where it could have been real big for them. So with only 1 miss, that's a pretty good stat. They're all throwing pretty well. They're getting the rocks in the right spot, and Trevor's very focused, and he's into it and up for the challenge. So it would be just high fives all around and just say, let's just keep going the same way. We're in great shape, 1 up with the hammer, and let's just play smart percentage shots.
Team PEI, on the other hand, just a little bit of trouble with some rock placement here and there and broom placement, but it's a 1-point game, and they've hung tough.
Absolutely. They're showing a lot of grit out there. They've put themselves into some pretty tough situations. It's definitely been controlled by Northern Ontario, but the scoreboard is right there. They're only down by 1, and in curling, anything can happen, and another steal could happen in no time, and then you got a tied ball game. So it'd be just concentrate on doing what you know how to do, and make sure that you're focused on your shot before you're letting it go, and trust yourself. A lot of times in these situations, the teams just come out trying a little bit too hard, and you just got to relax and chum it up a little bit out there, and just there's a reason why you're there in the first place. You're definitely a good team. It's just that you got to let yourself just let your skill come out a little bit more. Less trying so hard.
Good shots there by the leads there, back to back. Darcy Birch and then Amanda Gates. Those rocks that are frozen in the 4-foot behind cover, and now I think it's going to be game on, as that probably will build up behind those center guards, but this rock's got to slow down a bit. Here it comes. Got that Christmas tree building up.
They do.
Free guard zone now not in effect, so Trevor Bonot will ask Mike McCarville to make some of that those guards go away, which you'd think was the right call with Hammer in this fifth end.
The Red Rocks are going in the right direction for them. They're both heading over, and being out of play is fine, like he said. If they would have cut that a little thicker and sent them over for corner guards, he would have been very happy with that as well. So, but mission accomplished. Granite's out of the front, and now Tyler will have to be a little bit patient and put up a few guards. He's not sitting really good with that angle, as the red could hit that yellow right on the nose and be sitting 2 afterwards, just because of the way they're angled. So he's going to have to make sure that he puts this guard in a really good spot.
And just a reminder, you see McFadden on the back of that jersey, but it in fact is Ed White, who is playing second for Team Prince Edward Island. It's a lineup change, and they couldn't get the shirts done up in time, so it says McFadden, but rest assured, it is Ed White playing second for Team PEI. And I don't think he got over there enough, and I think that that shot you just suggested, Jeff, is about to be played.
Yeah, he's just going to be able to hit this basically on the nose and be sitting 2 after. You don't have to throw any real extra weight at this either. By the look of this ice, he's asking for more weight, but I guess the more weight you throw, then the more opportunity to get some separation with your Red Rocks.
That's very nice. And no double there either. Wow.
Couple opportunities for him here. He first called for a hit and roll. Looks like he's going to go for that. But the other call that I would probably be as interested or more interested in is just drawing around and freezing on that Red Rock in the 4-foot. I think he put his broom there temporarily as a thought process. Just getting one of his in behind the guard and up against theirs would cause some grief for a while if they could weld one there. But they're going to go with the hit and roll, so hopefully this works out for them.
Darcy trying to make that move a little bit and see if they can get the inside flop. Little one, but not enough.
Now we'll see him. Well, he's going to go hit and roll on the inside. Would have thought he would have gone to the outside roll here.
Jackie McCormick having a nice game, as she typically does when she's playing at the Canadian Mixed Championship. Wow.
Very nicely done.
And that's, we talk about the concept of team shots, and there it was, swept, thrown, and line called. And this, we talk about this Northern Ontario team with so much experience playing together. It sure shows on the sheet of curling ice.
Absolutely. No, they've been very impressive so far and controlling the game, in my eyes anyway, so far. And they're going to be a tough group to contend with this whole week.
We did mention they did win the silver medal last year at Prince Albert, losing the gold medal game to Team Felix Esselin from Quebec, and of course Team Esselin went on to win a bronze medal at the World Mixed Championship in Aberdeen, Scotland last month. So the guard is removed, and now Trevor will call upon Jackie to see if she can replace that guard. Very nice throw.
There's a lot of motivating yelling going on there from both ends, that's for sure. They wanted that shot bad.
Does loud yelling from a skip make you sweep harder? Does it really?
It truly does. It truly does. It's the new people that I'm able to coach in curling that start out. We just actually had this chat with them, and I told them when they're yelling at you to sweep, they're not yelling at you. They're yelling to motivate you, and it's just showing the excitement of how close it is and how much they want it. And they says, well, I think it's rude. That's and I'm like, well, there you go. Okay.
Rude.
Well, I think it's rude. Why they don't need to yell like that? I'm already trying. And I'm like, well, it's supposed to be motivating, and it's nothing about not trying hard enough. It's just that you get so excited, you get into the moment, and it just shows passion when you hear somebody yelling a lot, and it's just part of curling.
Love it. Love it. Meanwhile,
yes, this is a tough one to come with weight to be able to move those significantly out of the rings. You're going to be wide open. He might just come down with bumper on this one to try to make sure that the back one goes out and that he hopefully rolls over and sits in front of the red one that's at the back. But that looks like the ice is taking for it too. So might be the shot he's trying right now.
it's a big shot here for Tyler Smith. I'm worried about that. Is it tight? Ed White is really working it. See if they can keep it off that guard. Just gets by.
Wow, that's a pretty good shot. That shrinks down the rings because that yellow is going to be going nowhere. So that shrinks down the rings.
You know, I was going to ask you, Jeff, if there was any possibility of an inside flop, and then I thought, don't ask him that because it's a ridiculous question. There's no way he can get an inside roll. And what do you know?
Yeah. The
I
plan
didn't
B.
think that was, I just didn't think that was possible. But wow, pretty good outcome.
No, it had a lot of good finish on that rock at the end.
But it still is Northern Ontario with shot stone and the hammer. And rock in hand as Trevor Bonot settles in the hack to throw his first stone with that mashing throwing device.
This is a really tough shot to throw your rock in just the right spot. It's you need to place it in a spot that you're not going to give up the chance of losing that red rock with a double. But to get this to be for shot and hidden and not too deep, like it's a very difficult shot. You can see him looking at it going, oh, damn.
Nope.
This doesn't look, it is that hard. It's, you just can't see it.
I don't know, is he thinking that he might be able to get at it from the counterclockwise side and then chisel it out? heard him say something about across the face. But...
Well, see, this sets up an opportunity possibly for some bigger. So he's actually just he's just corner freezing on that yellow, I believe, so that it can't be used at all to go against the red. So he's not. I don't know if he's actually trying to get second shot right now. I think he's just setting it up for his last one and thinking that Tyler's not going to have a good place to draw to. So he feels like he'll have that open shot for his last one then. Interesting call here.
They're not touching this yet. Now Mike is giving a little polite cleaning.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He just purely wanted that corner freeze on that yellow. It's a really good rock.
Very nice. Did it bump enough out, though? We saw how much Tyler's rock curled last time. I feel like that's accessible now on the clockwise side, his intern.
This is a tough situation for sure.
Boy, if you get too cute with it, drive that yellow straight sideways, and suddenly Team Northern Ontario has a shot at 4.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be chasing that one with weight. This is a big gamble call, because even if you make it, there's a good chance your yellows are going to be grouped there for a possible double, and that would be a big end.
What's the alternative in your mind?
Draw it to the back button.
Yeah.
Your clockwise draw back button would be a really good shot. He could actually even go to the go to the out turn too and go around there and just to get second shot to shrink up the house. But I think I would be looking at the straight draw to be on the safe side.
Well, we don't like safe side here at the
No,
Canadian Championship. We like bold.
Or risk, yeah.
Exactly.
Risk reward.
Highlight reel shots.
That's right.
Last shot, Tyler Smith in this 5th end. Once again, he's tight to that guard. Ed White's working hard. Looks like he's by.
He's got a good one here.
I like this call.
Great shot. Yeah. Now we love it. Well, if you can throw it that good and that precise, that like I said, that was a huge risk reward shot, and guess what? He just got the reward.
That's a terrific shot. Well done, Tyler Smith. Yep. And he gets the opportunity at a force. It is PEI's sitting shot, and Trevor Bonot is going to need full 4-foot to score here.
Yeah, that was a fantastic change of events there. That was just a ridiculously good shot. Definitely bringing a smile to their face in the background there now.
Full 4. That's what Trevor Bonot needs here. Sweepers seem pretty comfortable with it.
Under pressure.
Very nicely done. That's a couple times Trevor Bonot's had to make that shot, and he's done it twice. And it will be a single point for Northern Ontario. They will take a 4-2 lead into the 6th end when we come back right after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club. We are heading into the sixth end of tonight's game between Team Prince Edward Island, skipped by Tyler Smith from Crapaud Curling Club, and of course, Team Trevor Bonot, the 2022 silver medalist, 2017 gold medalist, and his team from the Fort William Club in Thunder Bay. And another good end that was snuffed out at the end by Tyler Smith with a great shot that forced Northern Ontario to take a point. And that's, we talked about confidence boost, and I think that's another one for Prince Edward Island. They're hanging tough in this game.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, that was a make it or break it shot for Tyler. If he misses that last one, it's minimum 2, maybe 3. And then he pulls off an unbelievable confident shot there and does a great force to give one. So it just was a fantastic shot, and it'll definitely drive them to say, hey, we got this, and this should be good. If they can get their deuce here, tie it up, oh my God, we got a game on our hands.
That's been pretty much the steady playbook for Northern Ontario, is to get those first 2 lead rocks from Amanda Gates into the rings and in a good position, which is at the top of the house, and she's got that done. But the corner guard is up, and Tyler Smith will ask his lead, Darcy Birch, to see if she can sneak one and bury one behind that corner guard.
Yes, I enjoy it. No, she's actually, they're throwing up another guard, 2 guards on that same side.
Well,
yeah.
That one's going to have to slow down in a hurry, though, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. This when the new 5 rock rule came into play, and we were out on tour at the time, and I was coaching actually Sean Meacham at the time, Adam Casey. We were going over the scenarios of how to play this, and this double guard on the same side rather than splitting your corners was a hot topic. And we went through a lot of scenarios, and I said, I really like it. And Kelly Galusha was close by, and I talked to their team, and we talked about that strategy because they were talking about it as well. And they went out to play, and it was quite funny because during the game I look over and they're playing, and they score this big 5-ender, and I'm like, oh my God, that's huge. Well, afterwards she even said on Twitter she'd like to thank myself because they decided to try Jeff Chambers' strategy with the 5-rock and put 2 corners on the same side, and she just laughed about that because she said mid-game she looked at her team and says, let's just try that, and that was the end that they got 5. So it was just the irony of it was pretty funny.
And the strategy ever more known as the Chambers with Team Galusha, I'm sure, right? So.
Definitely. You know what? With me and Kelly, yeah, for sure we got that. But yeah, no, it was pretty funny that came to fruition there. It was pretty funny.
So the hit and roll was called for here. I'd like to get that sideways flop. It looks like it's going to be right on the nose. Not a bad spot. Good lead.
No, that is totally fine. Tyler's going to be very happy with that result, and they got their rocks in a pretty good spot right now, so they're going to be feeling pretty good, and they just need some hit and rolls, and they're off to the races.
So Trevor's going to call for the guard.
This is an interesting call. I'm not
Surprised
going
me
to
a little
lie.
bit. Yeah.
Because I can see that that red double is just right there, and you're basically throwing up another guard to. If they make that double, they'll be right behind the guard. So, different decision here, I would say, but Trevor has a plan. So far, it's worked out pretty good for him.
Don't want that too deep.
Right where he called it, so let's see how this works out. I'm pretty sure Tyler's going to run up for this double. Oh, he's going to think about drawing on his first one.
Lots of options, but
I'm quite surprised. I thought he'd take advantage of that being an opportune. It's only a half rock double, so. He's choosing to keep more rocks in play.
interesting end shaping up here. Just a reminder, we'll be back on the air tomorrow with 3 draws here from the Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Draws at Central Time, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. here from the Swift Current Curling Club. That's 11 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Eastern. Of course, you can watch all those games right here on Curling Canada Plus, all 4 sheets live streamed, thanks to our friends at Curling Stadium. You can watch all the action from the Canadian Mixed right here on Curling Canada Plus. Big scrub here from Mike McCarville.
Might get a plan B double here. No, we got a lot of rocks moving around.
Boy, that worked out nice for PEI, though, as they get another rock in the rings, and suddenly a chance to sit 3. Not an easy double, but...
I don't think he'll change that double. That's a pretty thin one there, but you can definitely make a play on it.
Even to move that red rock into the open somehow, the one that's buried in the forefoot, would be a nice result. Looks like they're just playing pretty soft weight at it, though.
Yeah, they're just going to draw in there, and if it ticks off there, it'll push it out a little bit, or even if they can get corner throws on it. Boy, there's a lot of movement on this rock. Look at this.
Can you get through that hole?
Well, it's there, but that is a tight hole. You can see that line. That's, you're gonna have to play that with just a hacker bumper weight. Yeah. Get the measuring stick out. That's tight.
I mean, on the one angle, you don't see the stagger. There's quite a significant different distance between that center guard and the rock that's in the rings. But and Trevor's going to call a timeout and talk it over with the team.
Yeah, when you see the separation and you saw the way the rocks can curl in there, there's definitely room. But when you're sitting in the hack and you're looking at that shot, you're going, really? Are you sure that's there?
It doesn't seem to follow the rules of physics. Now they're talking about playing it in off, it looked like. What do you think here, Jeff?
Yeah, I definitely like that option over there. Like the very first call was coming through the hole for sure, but like I said, that's a tough, very precise shot. Not saying they're not going to make it, but it's a low percentage shot. Whereas you can get a hit and roll over. Like he's going through there's the plan A, there's the plan B. Like if you hit it over, you might bounce your own over. You roll up to theirs. There's a few different options there. and so it's definitely a contending rock for sure while it's there.
While they talk about it, we'll give you a quick scoreboard update. It is Ontario with a 5-3 lead on the Yukon. Yukon with Hammer playing the 6th end. Manitoba jumping out into an 8-4 lead over New Brunswick, or Newfoundland Labrador, pardon me. It's 8-4 with Manitoba having the Hammer in the 6th end. And the other game, it is New Brunswick in a 5-2 lead over Nunavut. Nunavut having Hammer in the 6th end. Looks like they've made a call, Jeff.
Yeah, they went through a lot of different scenarios there. Coming through the hole, tapping the red one back, hit and roll off the yellow. A lot of different options, and that's the beautiful thing about having so many rocks in play is that there are going to be options. Just got to go with one that suits your eye, and I think they've found it.
Jumped the sweep right away, Mike McCarville.
Went for a straight run back here, I believe. Looks like very close. Very good shot. That's going to be a lonely yellow rock there.
It is yellow on PEI. I think, no, it's Northern Ontario with Hammer, so Northern Ontario sitting 1st, 3rd, and 4th shot around that lonely yellow.
Yeah, I was going to say they're looking at the turns, which one to come in with. I like the out turn just for the sake of if it does hold out just a little bit, you could tap off the red, and they just threw it. But this is a little safer. It's open on there, and we know it cuts in there very nice at the end. So if you can just put that right front there, you'll feel a lot more confident with just instead of just having one yellow rock in there. They're saying it's got lots of weight right now. They just want top 4, and this is looking back. So
is it
they
going to
missed
go
the chop off? So
through the wickets? No, it will make a bump, but
not all bad.
No, I'm seeing some options here, but
yeah, absolutely.
See what's there after Trevor makes this shot. Obviously, the danger rock is that yellow rock at about 1 p.m. as you're looking at it. Would you ever consider just a guard here?
Yeah, there's some different options to get at them, though, because there are so many options out there. I think they're going to want to get their rock into play and into at least into the 8-foot area.
Yeah, that's a mindset too, right? Second shot might be your best guard.
Yeah.
Second or third shot.
No, I like this call. It's a good solid call here.
Trevor Bonot with his first shot of this 6th end. That's hanging way out there. Here it comes.
Too much weight, they said.
Yeah, I think that is going right through the wickets.
That was a rare miss from the skipper there. He's had that button weight in his back pocket, so that was, and he was even trying to go short of that. So not sure what happened. Just must have come out a little hot. Again, Tyler will be going through a lot of different options now too. Looking at the angles. He almost could be using his own yellow rock to get the angle of the roll and coming off his own. Don't know if he's looked at that, but definitely an option he could try to do too to get it over there. It's a tough spot to get into. Well, instead of an in off his own, he's going to run his own in by the looks of it. Get ready for the highlight reels here, Al. Big shot coming up here. If he can get that right angle and jam that back, that would just very difficult shot, but really beneficial. It's a good shot there. That worked out nicely. Definitely has him thinking now. The gamble here is to run that red into theirs would be a great to sit possibly two, but also just the easier shot would be probably draw in, but it's going to go with the draw.
That was a fabulous shot. I'm wondering yeah, I guess you're talking about that short raise.
Yeah, it's right there, but then you might open up the fact that two red rocks are sitting there, and that would get real scary real quick. So this is by far the safer shot, and he can get totally buried in there and shot. So it's definitely the better shot to go with.
There's a lot of bananas in there. Trevor just threw this shot as we saw. I'm assuming he'll take a few feet off of it. Can't afford this to bounce out in the open, though.
It's moving in really nicely. This is going to be really nicely buried. Great shot. Didn't take him long to get his weight back.
Well, listen, I'm all in on this shot just to see what happens because I'm just not sure what's going to happen.
If he hits this right on the nose, well, inside nose would have to be. Right, the crotch of those two rocks. I think he thinks that'll push the red off the button, and then hopefully that red would spin back up.
Does the red stone the raised stone, does it have to touch the yellow or the red first?
Right at the same time. Preferably just a piece of the yellow so that you get the extra roll up, because you don't want to stun the rocks. You want it to be at lively and roll back out. But
well, that red stone that's raised, yeah, it's gonna.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Here we go.
Put some arm into that one. Let's get a rock clock on that baby. We're close.
Oh
boy, such a hard shot.
Well, listen, that was fun to watch. So great try, but it will be a steal of one for Northern Ontario. And they will take a 5-2 lead into that seventh end when we come back after this.
We're for agriculture, For growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club. It is Draw 2 action Sunday night at the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. That was an entertaining end, Jeff, but it was a steal of 1 for Northern Ontario. They take a 5-2 lead, and PEI will have hammer here in the 7th. And it's only 2 ends to play. You got to think PEI's got to generate some offense in this end, at least 2, if they want to have a chance to win this game.
Absolutely, and they've been doing well doing that. Like last end, they had the opportunity there. It was obviously to get a big multi-point end, you have to have a big shot at the end, and it was close. It was just very difficult, but they give themselves the opportunity to get the rocks in play, and that's what you got to do. You just got to figure out a way to get the rocks in the play, and just hope that you can get a really big shot or a big miss, and then you're right back into it with a big multiple end. We've seen lots of those ends happen so far, right across the board. So you're going to see a really good shot at it here, I'm sure.
The one thing that's been pretty consistent for PEI, though, is they just haven't been setting up ends early on. You know, they'll get that guard up there, but they just haven't really managed to get one buried in a good place. And that makes such a difference in building up a deuce, if not more.
It does. If they can get this one to curl up, they've got it's pretty close on this one to get fully buried. Because if they get this fully buried, that's a rock that they're just not going to touch, and that's what they managed to do here. So this is what they, like I said, they haven't had that perfect setup, and you can see already Trevor's going, now what do we do? So it's first task is good, and now Trevor's going to go to the middle, and then Tyler will just have to generate some rocks. He's going to see how many rocks, yellow rocks, you can get in front of red rocks.
You know, and ultimately that's, I always say, you know, when you go to particularly like an under 18 championship, and you'll see some of the less experienced teams playing a lot of hits, and my thought process always has been, and maybe you agree, is just to keep lobbing them into the rings and make their shots tougher.
Mm-hmm. It makes it very tough, that's for sure. You just be patient. You keep knocking it in. This is, I would call this a miss at this point for sure. To be light on that and staggered guards now. Tyler is like, wow. Now I get to go to the middle, and he's very happy about this situation right now. So hopefully they can take advantage and bury one here, and then we definitely have game on. Early indication is that he's light out of the hand, and the girls are hitting it hard. See if they can get a biter out of it. Yeah, that does the trick.
Great scrub there by Darcy and Melissa to get that all the way down there into shot rock. And like you say, it's in jail.
Yeah, they got on that early. They knew they had to do it. And this is a tough peel as well, because it's easy to jam this one or miss it if you don't hit it head on, and you're still leaving a red rock in play if you do hit it pretty close to the nose. So really good setup rocks done. And that's what we're going to see. Big jam and left to guard. So the double whammy, that's always dangerous to play with that shot.
Jeff, I think it's fair to say that's most consecutive, and I'll put air quotes around this, misses that we've seen out of this Northern Ontario team tonight.
Yes. Those a couple tough ones for sure. That's I love this call. If the easiest way is to get around those corner. Oh, he changed his mind. He's going to go around the middle, but
I love this call too.
I love when you get around the corner and you can generate those points that you just don't realize are going to pop up all of a sudden on the edge of the 8. But he's going to go in deep here.
Is the fear here, though, Jeff, that if he doesn't get in there, that Trevor would try to get in there himself at some point?
Well, I don't think Trevor's would be hitting a draw anytime soon. We're going to see some granite flying here. It's just which angle he's going to do. So.
Gotcha.
But I do see if they would have drawn behind there, that red would have run in over there. So they probably were having a look at that. Oh, boy.
Bit of an opportunity that gets away from PEI.
Absolutely.
That's lined up pretty good here for red.
Yeah, that gives access to that buried rock all of a sudden. So now they can just use that, and I'm pretty sure they will. They basically just have to hit this on the nose. Nose to 3/4, and they're in great shape. Yellows disappear.
Might even make contact with the yellow that's behind the corner. Maybe. Let's see what Jackie can pull out here.
Getting on this early, so trying to make sure it doesn't over curl. Looks like they got a great angle on it. Wow, you are right. How's
like that?
Triple?
Routine triple there from Jackie McCormick. What a lovely shot.
Yeah, that just what looked like a simple draw set up a huge disaster for them. It's just those ones just need to go in. But Tyler's still okay. There's lots of rocks out front to hide behind, so just revamp and throw a good draw, and let's see if they can get this top button and put the pressure rate back on.
So I had White kind of shift over there to the other side. That's a classic mixed doubles sweeping technique, and he played mixed doubles with his wife last year at the Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship in Sudbury. So it's a valuable skill to have in mixed doubles curling, be able to sweep from both sides.
Absolutely. So that's a good shot. Even though it's at the back of the 4, it's still fully buried, and Trevor's just going to try to draw one in on top and shrink up the house now. It's too late in the end to try to get rid of the guard, so you just got to play with it. So they're going to go to the aggressive side rather than the safe and see if they can bury one and really put some serious pressure off. If they can get this on top button, they're sitting really good.
Is that going to get by the guard? Yes, it does. Good sweeping by Amanda Gates to get some movement. Boy, that took forever.
It did. It's a very good shot there. Well, the way this is shaping up, Tyler's going to have to pull off something pretty special on his last 2. Nope. Indication this might be a little heavy.
I think that's all over that corner guard. Can Ed get it to move over? Let's see if he can carve it. I think that's going to... Whoa.
Oh, boy. They almost needed the baby tick there.
Yeah,
it's still in play though, but that red one's almost going to be impossible to get out of there without taking the yellows with it. So,
Jeff, we do have a final. It is Manitoba's Kyle Kurz, Team Kyle Kurz from the Fort Rouge in Winnipeg. They earn an 11-4 win over Team Keith Ryan of Labrador City. So Manitoba opens the 2023 Canadian Mixed with a win.
guess that's a good way to start out your event. Waiting for that late curl, and you can see there's so much of it at the end, but it just, you have to be so patient with it. At the hog line, that rock was in line with that corner guard. So it's just showing just the ice conditions are fantastic. We talked to a couple of the teams during opening ceremonies, and anybody that had played or had practiced, they were all enjoying the ice, and the time stayed very steady. It's not breaking down on them, and the curl is just, it's been really, really good. So you just got to know when to hit it.
By the way, you hear that Manitoba team skip by Kyle Kurz, and that name should be familiar. The last name, anyways. It was Kyle's brother Colin that won the 2019 Canadian Mixed Championship and went on to win a World Championship a few months later. So good bloodlines in the Kurz family when it comes to mixed curling. Tyler Smith now drawing against a couple. Needing to pull something out here.
Really good shot coming in here.
Very nice save by Tyler Smith.
I assume we're just going to see a guard here, or is he going to try to come right on top of it?
Either or probably works, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's not much left there to get the second point. So Northern Ontario would be very happy to give up one right now.
This is Trevor Bonot's final shot. This seventh end. That doesn't look like it's got 4-foot weight. I think they're just trying to close the hole. And like you say, Jeff concede the single and take the hammer and a 2-point lead into the eighth end. Don't see too many options for a deuce here.
No, he'll look at the in-turn there. I just don't know if there's room the way it comes in there to get through, but we're going to find out shortly.
I kind of feel like the outturn's still there almost, the way it cars, but the stagger's not great there, so. But they will play the clockwise rotation, Tyler's in turn. As he prepares, we'll tell you one more final to report. It is Team New Brunswick, Team Charles Sullivan from the Thistle St. Andrews, taking a 12-2 win over Nunavut. Final shot for Tyler Smith here in this seventh end. This would be a miraculous deuce.
It's trying really hard here. Oh,
I'll tell you
boy.
what.
That
was
not far off.
No. Great try there by Tyler Smith, but it will be just a single for Prince Edward Island, and Northern Ontario will have the hammer and a 2-point lead for the eighth end when we return after this.
We're for agriculture, for growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club as we enter this 8th end of tonight's Draw 2 game between Northern Ontario and Prince Edward Island. It is Northern Ontario with a 5-3 lead. And we'll see if that rock will get to the boards because it was in the available to be ticked because it wasn't on the center line, but they do not make it. So that rock will be replaced. And we'll watch as Team Tyler Smith of the Crapaud Curling Club in Prince Edward Island tries to generate a steal of 2, if not more, to stay in and to possibly tie this game or even win it. But that's a tall order against a very, very good and experienced Northern Ontario team.
No, absolutely. This is pretty crucial. They got away with one miss on the free guard zone, but they're definitely going to want to make sure they touch that center line so that this rock is safe.
There was a lot of debate about this no-tick rule, but it was a reflection that just once upon a time, ticks were considered a hard shot, but they sure became routine. And that rock will not be in that no-tick zone. It is available to be moved off. And we'll see Trevor Bonot ask Amanda Gates to try again and see if she can get that rock just over to the side. Not out of play, of course. The free guard zone rule is still in effect.
Yeah, there's a lot of mixed opinions on the tick rule for sure. A lot of people believe that it shouldn't be there, and a lot of people think it makes for more exciting curling, and so there's a lot of mixed opinions on it. You want to give me yours, Al?
I like it. I've seen too many high-level games that are over after lead rocks in a final end, and it keeps that possibility alive for a comeback, and comebacks are fun. Comebacks are fun to watch. And there's still opportunities. I mean, you get the second rocks, and you'll be able to peel, and it's all good. But it puts a premium on shot making, too. And we saw
Absolutely.
Team PEI not making shots, and they lost one of their guards already. And after this shot comes to rest, we'll see Northern Ontario start peeling. And those two are a little close together, I think, Jeff.
Yeah, a little close for their liking. Could get lucky on the jam on that red one on the side, but
Mike McCarville throwing the big weight.
He likes it.
Oh, almost made contact with the red one too, but makes the double peel, and now that center is open. And now it's...
Yeah, that was a pretty crucial part earlier to get that those rocks on that center line. That's a big game changer early on, and now it's just a matter of you're just going to have to get a huge miss. At some point, they're going to start going around the corners, even though the open is there. But anytime you get rocks in the house, it still puts on pressure on the other team. So you can hide a couple behind the corners. You're still in good shape.
probably higher would have been a better outcome for that guard as well, just for the possibility that you mentioned earlier, Jeff, about the jam possibility, and there's not really one now, so.
Probably see Tyler start now. Yeah, he's pretty much forced to go behind the corners now. I don't know if throwing centers, I think it's just more wasted rocks. So I think it's time to get behind one of the corners, and then you just got to start guarding from there. He's going to run out of rocks pretty soon here.
Looks like the center guard was the call again for PEI. Melissa Morrow. Even, you know, putting these off center is not a terrible thing too, because it does change the normal throw and brings those jams into play, but that's going to be just in front of the house.
Again, you're just hoping somehow you get a nose hit out of this, which is definitely possible for sure.
Nice shot by Jackie. And there you see it.
Now we got to go behind, yep. They know how this curls. They've been playing this inside out a few times with the draws, so they know the line. Get this fully buried. Really good weight, just got a little wide. You could see it in the slide when she came out that it was the slide was heading a little wide and just didn't quite get the line she needed there to bury that. The weight was just so good.
Jackie will play the hit. And nicely executed.
Yeah, even though that's on the floor, there has to gamble. You have to hide one rock in there to get the second point. So there's no choice. Has to go behind the corner here.
Then if he makes that shot, it's kind of a decision, isn't it, for Trevor Bonot? Does he chase it, or does he lob another one into the forefoot?
I'd imagine he won't even bother chasing it. He'll just lob another one into the forefoot.
Tyler Smith's first rock in the 8th end, and it'll just slide into the back 12.
He's throwing enough. He's probably going to go after this one. With the amount of ice he's taking, he's not going to mess around. It looks like he's throwing this one for sure. Yeah, this must be peel weight. That is not much ice at all.
He did not underthrow it.
Nice clean sweep all the way up and tidied up, and just a good finish to a great game for Northern Ontario there.
There it is. That is the final. Run him out of rocks, and it will be a victory for Team Northern Ontario, 5-3, and a great start for the reigning silver medalists from last year. A reminder, we will be back on the air tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll have another game at 2 p.m. We'll have another game at 6 p.m. Jeff, your thoughts on opening day here in Swift Current?
I think it was a great start for a lot of the teams, and looks like a lot of them got used to the ice real quick. And yeah, I think they're going to enjoy the conditions. They'll be consistent, and they'll be pretty good all week. And I think we're going to see some great shot making. So that was a good day one, and I believe all the teams are going to enjoy their time here in Swift Current.
Well, that wraps things up for opening day here on Curling Canada Plus. We're saying so long from Swift Current. Please join us tomorrow on Curling Canada Plus at the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. For Jeff Chambers, this is Al Cameron saying so long from Swift Current.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good, and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.